So one common problem you'll experience while mixing is too low of an input volume. So with this microphone I have, it could just as easily be a guitar or a keyboard or another vocal mic or whatever. I'm talking into it right now, and we're just hardly getting any signal. If I go to the input meter, I'm hardly getting anything out of it. Hardly anything. And the fader's all the way up. So in this case, we need to turn up more gain because we need to boost the signal from the line in coming into the board. So we'll turn up the gain maybe there and try again. And now we're getting a little bit more signal, which is good. And now the fader's all the way up, it's pretty loud. Hello, hello. So that's pretty good. Now if we keep turning up the gain higher and higher, it's pretty hot right now. See, it just fed back. So you got to be really careful where the gain is. And even if, so the fader's all the way down right now. Well, it's pretty far down. And see how much input I'm getting? That's not good. And see, this is another problem that you may have. You may have too much signal coming into the board, which is another problem. So if the gain's all the way up, I'm hardly even holding the mic close to my mouth and I'm getting so much input. And if I even talk close, now it might sound normal out there, but you see how it's clipping? You hear that? Did you hear that clipping sound? That's because it'll indicate that with this red light. See how it says clip? Hello, hello. It's clipping. That means there's so much sound coming into the board, it's having to clip off the waveform and then just do its best to get the sound out. So my fader was way down here, and I guess it sounds kind of normal, but when I talk a bit louder, you even see that the selected channel level is peaking out, and which is the same thing here. And the clip light here and the overload light there is active. So to get around that, just make sure your gain is at a level where your fader is producing the comfortable volume when it's at U. So check, that's a pretty good volume. I might could use a little bit more, so I can turn up the fader, I can turn up the gain a little bit. Hey, how's that? So that gives me a little bit more flexibility in mixing, because you don't want to have your faders all the way down here. That's bad, not only because you're probably going to have way too much instrument signal coming in and it's going to clip, but also see how close 40, 50, and 60 decibels are down here? That's just to get a fine-tuned adjustment, you have to barely even move the fader, whereas up near you have a 5 decibel difference in this amount of space, which down here you'd get a 30 decibel difference with the same amount of space. So it's just way fine-tuned down here, and to make really fine adjustments you have to barely move the fader, whereas here it's a lot easier to make fine-tuned adjustments because you can move the fader more and get it to more where you want it. So ideally, this all comes back to just having the ideal volume be where the fader is at U, and having your gain allow that to happen. So that's a common problem you'll have while mixing, which is either low input volume or too much input volume.